San Marino is sending Gabry Ponte and Tutta l'Italia to Basel 2025. Now, Tutta l'Italia means all of Italy, but will all of Europe be rooting for this one? Let's review Eurovision. So yes, San Marino is heading to Basel this year with Tutta l'Italia. Now, this was actually the the theme music for Sanremo. And it's now going to be San Marino's Eurovision entry. So let's have a little listen.
Domani poi ci pensiamo a dirci ti amo, che qui ci sente tutta l'Italia, tutta l'Italia, tutta l'Italia.
So that was a bit of San Marino's entry for this year. Jack, what do you make of it?
Well, it is perhaps the most bizarre story of how this got here, even by San Marino standards. And this is the country that somehow got Flow Rider. Even by their standards, this is crazy. Going from being the theme song to a different country's national selection to being another country's entry. It's mad. And really, they were smart to do it because I watched Sanremo this year. The Italian selection was not as good as last year, let's put it that way, because it was a lot of ballads, it was a lot of men. It was quite a dour year. There were some highlights in there, but it was pretty slow. And this was the song that they played at the beginning and end of every break. And the crowd were all getting along with it. So actually, it really stood out because all of the other songs were so slow. And it kind of built this life of its own as a bit of a party anthem. So no wonder San Marino have picked it. And I just think actually I would not be surprised if this beats Italy in the final. I think the juries will love that, but I think this is fun enough that it's almost like a football anthem. I can see it opening the final. Lyrically, there is no depth to this. It is not going to win a Pulitzer Prize, but in something that just gets you clapping along, that brings the party. It does the job. It's in the same ilk as Allez Ola Olé from France in 2010. It's that kind of just rousing, let's get things started. So if that's what you're here for Eurovision for, it does the job. Is it an all-time classic? I don't think so, but I quite like it.
I completely agree with all of that. I think it's a great kind of chant along. You've got something really solid and really accessible there. Tutta l'Italia, tutta l'Italia. Like it just sticks in your head and you can't get it out. And it's a kind of great party song, and it's completely in the same ilk as kind of France 2010. So yeah, I completely agree with all of that. I think, it's not really a kind of typical Eurovision song, in that it's was a theme song. So I'll be intrigued to see how that kind of plays out at the contest. But yeah, it's kind of thoroughly entertaining. The only thing I would say is that obviously like he's a DJ. So I think it's a bit of a kind of awkward staging setup when you've got a guy kind of pretending to spin discs when he's obviously not doing. And the performance that we've had of it is that they need a little bit of improvement, I think, to give it a bit of kind of stage presence. But the actual song itself, I mean, yeah, it's kind of great fun. So yeah, so it's going in semi-final one, it's going 11th. Um, do you think it's getting through to the final? And what would you score it?
I think it is getting through to the final, actually. You're completely right to point out the DJ problem because Poland 2018, it didn't work. Finland 2019, it didn't work. There's a track record here of this not going very well.
Austria,
Austria
Marie.
2022, yeah, it doesn't go well. But I have just think by sheer force of entertainment, this will get through. And I'm going to give it a 7. It's fun. There's no lyrical depth to it, but if you want a party, it's a party. 7.
Nice, yeah. I think it's definitely going through as well. I think it's one of those where it could get through pretty well on kind of Televo in the semi-final and then not do hugely well in the final. I think it has that kind of potential. But it's a nice change of pace. It's fun. yeah, I'm fine. I would give it an 8. So 15 overall. High praise for San Marino. So that's what we think. Let us know what you think of San Marino's entry in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you get notified every time we upload a new video. But that's it from this episode, and thanks very much for watching.